Alright, back with the new album review. It's been a long time since my last review, and I've been wanting to do this one for a while. Also, Luna is joining me this time, as you can see. Anyways, today's review is rather special because we're going to talk about a side project from Scott Weiland called Scott Weiland and the Wildabouts. They only released one album. The album is called Blaster, which came out in 2015. This album was recorded in 2014 at Lavish Studios in Burbank and the Sandbox in Beechwood Canyon. It was produced, mixed, engineered, and mastered by Rick Parker. The album was originally going to come out in November of 2014, but was pushed back to March 31st, 2015. It was released under Soft Drive Records and distributed through In-Groove's music group. One interesting fact is that Soft Drive Records was an independent label that was started up by Scott Weiland himself. And the lineup of the band consisted of Scott performing lead vocals, rhythm guitar, and keyboards. The lineup also consisted of lead guitarist Jeremy Brown, bassist Tommy Black, and drummer Danny Thompson. However, the songs Mozilla, Amethyst, Blue Eyes, and Youthquake had Mike Avename on drums. And one interesting fact is that my dad actually did an interview with Tommy Black a while back. Now let's talk about the songs. This album starts with Mozilla. So it's the very first song on this album that I ever listened to, despite the fact that it was never released as a single. It is primarily centered around hard rock. Then again, most of the songs on this album are in the realm of hard rock. I think this is a very good song, and we're just getting started. Up next is Way She Moves. The song touches upon both alternative and hard rock. It's also the second single from this album, and the single was released on February 10th, 2015, which was a month and a half before the album was released. You followed up with Hotel Rio. One thing I should mention is that this is the longest song on this album with a runtime of 4 minutes and 36 seconds. The next song is called Amethyst. What I really like about the song is how it retains Scott Weiland's signature style when it comes to singing. Hell, every song on this album has that. That's followed up by White Lightning. So it's the first single from this album. And the single was released on January 13th, 2015. That was 2.5 months before the album was released. After that is Blue Eyes. It's actually the second longest song on this album at 3 minutes and 57 seconds. If you listen closely to this song, you can hear Scott Weiland playing the keyboard. I should also mention that this song features James Iha as the rhythm guitarist. And this is also my favorite song on this album, and my dad regularly plays it on his radio show. Next song is called Bleed Out. It's the shortest song on this album with a runtime of 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Up next is Youthquake. It's another one of my favorite songs from this album. Listening to it reminds me of Scott's days as the lead singer of Velvet Revolver. After that is Beach Pop. I don't have much to say about this song, but it's okay in my opinion. Next song is called Parachute. One thing I should mention is that this is the second longest song on this album at 4 minutes and 29 seconds long. Followed up by 20th Century Boy. It's actually a cover of a song by T-Rex, and my dad regularly plays the original version on his radio show. Honestly, I think this is a good cover. Also, this song was released as a single on February 24th, 2015, which was just over a month before the album was released. This album ends with Circles. It's the second shortest song on the album at 3 minutes and 16 seconds long. The soft tone of this album is why I think it's the perfect song to end the album with. I read this album peaked at number 133 on the Billboard 200, number 10 on the U.S. independent albums, number 24 on the 24 U.S. number 24 on the U.S. top rock albums. I don't know how many copies were made, but if anyone knows, be sure to let me know in the comments. As what the critics said about this album, they gave it mixed reviews. I'd say that Rolling Stone magazine is the worst offender when since those hipsters gave it 2 out of 5 stars. Of course, Rolling Stone magazine often does a poor job when reviewing music. If you don't believe me, then check out what those hipsters think of Bush's music. As for my opinion on Blaster, I think this is a good album overall, regardless of what the critics think. It's also very underrated, and I didn't even know about it until I did research on Scott Weiland's discography. When researching this album, I read that Jeremy Brown had tragically passed away the day before the album was released. The following month was when they brought in Nick Maybury as his replacement. I should also mention that this was the second to last album that Scott Weiland ever worked on for his untimely death on December 3rd, 2015. His final album was the self-titled debut album from Art of Anarchy, and I'll talk more about Art of Anarchy when I eventually get a hold of their albums. Now, before I conclude this video, I'd like to give a special shout out to the Legit Gamer 91 for supporting my work and for being a good friend. And I highly recommend subscribing to his channel. There will be a link to his channel in the description. Now is the part where I question you. Have you listened to Blaster? If so, what are your thoughts on it? What's your favorite song from it? You wish the Wildabouts were still together? Now let me know in the comments. If you like the video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to hit the notification bell to notify future uploads. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with another video.